Hello and welcome to the weekly update for June 10th. This is Alchemistexe. So let's take a look at what's new this week. So first of all, there is a new unit, the second of the Dragon Riders for Phantom of the Kill, and she is Hercule. She is a slashing light unit and otherwise is very similar to last week's Minerva. Both Dragon Riders, both gimmick with the overclocking after killing with a skill, etc. Main difference is she has access to a charge up. And I believe that she's also like a little bit less mobile. But otherwise, they are pretty similar units, just different elements and damage types. So if you want to get her, she's fairly accessible for all of the same reasons that Minerva was last week. But of course, we'll go over that more in the banner section. So first, I'd like to point out in the challenge boards, you can get 100 Alma shards for free. Kind of nice if you've got her. If you don't have her, then it's less meaningful, but I would maybe grab the shards anyway, because you never know what happens in the future. And then as far as the event goes, oh, there's also consecrated elements this week. Don't forget about that, because easy rewards. But there's a new level for Hercule, where you would farm her weapon, just same as any POTK unit. And then there is also a level that gives a decent amount of rewards. It is called the 6th Anniversary Quest. I'm assuming that's POTK's 6th Anniversary. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing this quest. It's a little bit of a pain, but definitely worth it for the rewards, especially the otherworldly shards. Just any chance you have to get those, I would try to get them because they are just a very, very precious resource. They are how my Naofumi and my Raftalia are as enlightened as they are. Also, I think Dark Masamune was mostly carried on those as well, so it's just always good, especially when shards of certain characters are scarce, and in any unit you can use them on, it's always very nice. But then other than that, there is not a whole lot going on. There is a port battle if you're into that, and otherwise that's it. It's a pretty slow week as far as that goes. But there's plenty to do in terms of just regular grindy stuff. Oh, also, if you are going after any of the protagonists, job 3s like Logi, Dios, Elizabeth, or Edgar, and you're still trying to get the pieces that can be farmed in the story mode, this is a good time to do that because the drops are doubled. So if you feel like throwing a few thousand skip tickets at that problem, might as well do it while the drops are doubled. Okay, and then one more thing before we move on to the banners. The Eldritch Extermination battle, I definitely recommend doing all of the difficulties on this once because you'll get the summon ticket thing rewards that you can use to pull on the select banners, which is going to include the Minerva, Hercule, and then the Cassius and Lisa Not one, I believe, as well. So that's just kind of nice, free summoning there. And then once you've gotten all of those missions done, then I recommend doing the hell level 3 times a day if you can both do it and stomach it. It's pretty hard to auto. I'm sure somebody's probably done it, but even if you have to manual it, I think it's worth the time because you can use those the gold coins to buy reliefs. So it's about 1,000 per relief, so you should be able to get about 2 if you're able to do it every day. So definitely recommend doing that. I know reliefs have been pretty plentiful lately, but it's one of those things you can never really have too many of them. Okay, with that out of the way, now we can move on to the banners. Okay, so here we are at the banners. Let's start with the paid summon first. It is a just standard reroll for units. Get 50 shards for duplicates. I think it's worth it if you are a spender and you have a lot of limited units that you would like to get. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it because just the chances of something specific is pretty low. So the wider your net, the happier you'll be. Next up are 2 banners. I think that they are worth using the tickets on depending on what you want. There's 4 options for this week. The Hercule, Minerva, and then the Cassius, Lisa, Tiferet, Fail Not. Just whichever units you want to take a shot in the dark at. You know, those tickets are free, so use them where you see fit. But if you really want the units and the tickets don't pan out, in terms of Hercule, Cassius, and Lisa Not, then I would recommend doing the 9-step. Like, if you know you really want them, then that's, that is the way to get them. Although in the case of Hercule, you could transmuter as well, as long as you can deal with the shop RNG. You definitely could end up spending less gems that way. It just depends on whether you want to end up with a higher amount of soul shards for her. It sort of depends, because you could, if you have like a lot of the otherworldly enlightenment shards, you could end up being better off transmuting. I would just, look at what you have and what you want and kind of how lucky you are in the shop, and that will determine it. There's also an enlightenment limit break festival thing. Get a guaranteed 5-star in every step. I don't recommend going past step 4, because if you have 2 discount tickets, you could do 4 steps of this, and if you're lucky, you'll get something good, and if not, it doesn't cost a lot of gems. If you're free to play, especially, because it's the best way to grab limited units. But yeah, because step 7 is only rainbow shards, I just don't think that's worth the cost. Then there are Memento banners there's the new one for the Dragon Riders, and then rerunning are the Cassius and Lisa's. So they're pretty reliable. It only takes 5 steps instead of 9, which is kind of nice. And so yeah, they're not a bad way to use discount tickets too if you're missing one of them and you want to grab it. I did that when Tifret's Memento reran not too long ago. And then yeah, that is pretty much it. Everything else is old. So I think for a lot of people it could be a skip week unless you are targeting one of the featured units. But if you do go after them, I hope that you have good luck, and I will see you all next time.